All right, what is happening, people? What is happening? It's been a while. It's been a while, and I am recording with this new microphone, so I hope you can hear me. I hope my voice is clear enough. I think it is. I've done a few um, tests. You are listening to music in the background. This will be a a reflective video, a spiritual video, a message, call it whatever you want. It will be the beginning of what I would like it to be a weekly spiritual training, reprogramming tool for you and I. I gotta start by saying and being quite frank and honest with myself, really, that, I'm not really the perfect trader or the perfect mentor. In the sense that sometimes I make the mistakes I teach not to make. We are all human, and it's part of the process, actually, I think, to be never ending journey of repetitive failure until you reach a new level of success, which I also think is never ending. That being said, the time that passed while we saw the big drop and the brief consolidation around 4,000 gave me the space I needed to recharge, reflect. And I think it's not really my job, it's not my obligation to come back with really anything at all, but I choose to pass on what I have reflected on and thought about and of. It's been a few days of trying to detox from social media, but also be on top of the news to a degree. And without really getting or sort of drifting away from the messages I want to get across, I briefly want to say before starting to write a few things that it's very important that we never forget who we are. Apart from the persona we're trying to become in this society, because we could get very philosophical and ask ourselves, who are we? Why are we here? But let's not do that, because it's, God, that's gonna really just mix my head up. But let's think about it for a second and not forget who we are. Who are we? I mean, here's what I mean. My name is Felipe. That's my name. That's my given name. I didn't choose that name, for example. But I'm not Felipe. You know what I mean? This body and the physical and the voice you're hearing it's me. and you are you. Period. There is no name here. And so that essence and that energy that controls the body and controls Felipe and Peter or Jesse or whatever, whoever, that is the energy we are. And we must not be blinded by anything else and everything else, which is pretty hard not to do in a material world. In a world where we appreciate what we have by looking at it first, then probably touching it or hearing it and smelling it. Not many meditate, not many have the time because they actually choose not to have the time. But at the same time, there's also people stuck so deep in the system that they don't even know there is a way of thinking that's different and is apart from what they were taught to do or learned to do. And the reason I start with this is because when you reconnect with yourself, you empower yourself, you awaken that strength within. It allows you to imagine, dream, visualize, manifest just by thought. And you could go deeper and stronger, so to speak, into manifestation by meditating, writing, doing spell work with your words, using nature's gifts like specific crystals and certain sound frequencies, for example. You could go deep into metaphysical and alchemical, sort, if that's the word, but from alchemy, rituals. And that word might sound a bit scary to some or a bit taboo, but a ritual is no different than a prayer, no different than a song or a show where people get together and dance to music. So it is something little by little not so underrated, but for a long time, and I think it will always be this way, nobody tells us this in school. Nobody motivates us to awaken the inner strength in college or in a company. Why is that? What is the true interest of a corporation if they're not motivating you to be your best version? They want you to be the best version that fits them and their interests. And they will measure you by such results and output. But they're not thinking about you. So anyway, I'm not gonna again drift away into that line of thought, but you get my point. And I circle back and reconnect my ideas to why I am starting by saying this is because that is the secret. That is the answer that opens the door to all answers. The inner self, being conscious of it and working with it. I will do my best and actually commit to making these videos, if it's not every week, at least twice a month. I'm not doing this for you only. I am doing it for us. Mainly and first of all, without being egocentric, for me. You help yourself first in a plane when it's about to crash in order to try and save the other if you gotta save yourself first. Hopefully you don't die if the plane crashes, but you get my black humor point. I gotta help myself first in order to help you. And I began saying I tend to be, or actually I began saying I had to be honest with myself. And with you, of course, because you are in this VIP group, this awesome team and community we're slowly building and creating. Sometimes I tend to be hard-headed. I am Aries, and Aries are a bit, some are arrogant, but I'm not arrogant. I like things my way. As much as it sounds kind of, suicidal, because when people actually are my way or the highway, they generally tend to get in trouble to the point where they might die. And I've never decided that I have to deal with any problems in my life, because I don't have problems. I have solutions and situations. Or the other way, I have situations to which I find solutions. I've always thought you could do anything by yourself, because we come into life alone. Yeah, of course, there's people that could help you. You can go talk to somebody. You have friends. You have family. Of course. But don't you sometimes feel, even though you go to someone, you go back home and you're like, fucking shit, I didn't resolve crap. I just got back and felt the same. It's what it is. People, not everybody finds effective to deal with their situations with other people or professionals in the field. Listen, there isn't anyone else more professional than yourself at your life. Period. Like, you can hear other people's lives and how they went about, and you can implement their tactics into yours. If you are struggling with anything right now, nobody has the answers but you. And it should actually be motivating, because some people are spending a lot of money, energy, and time searching outside of themselves, when really they just have to regroup within, look into yourself. It's actually good news to tell you, and for you to find out and know and realize, oh, it's always been me. I don't have to go outside anymore. I don't have to talk to this person anymore. I don't have to pay this much again, buy that any time longer. It's just, I have to look down for a second, close my eyes, and feel and think differently. Be conscious of some things, understand mistakes, and choose to act. Easy to say, absolutely. Harder than it sounds. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised of how easy it is to continue when that first action is taken. It only takes one act, one day to begin, and you'll feel motivated enough to think about it, to do it tomorrow. And tomorrow, you'll do it much easier than the first day. And it takes, honestly, less than a month to create a habit, to later implement into yourself being and actually change something about you or implement something new. That being said, and with this 15-minute intro, I will jump into the topics that I had been doing for a while, and little by little just started drifting away and focusing my energy into other things like private mentorships or even trading clients, private clients' accounts, or managing my fund and stuff. I kind of looked away from myself, and I gotta forgive myself for doing that. And I'm here sharing with you the fact I am just like you and anybody else, going through their own things, and I've never talked about this with openly. Of course, my closest and most loved ones know, and yes, I do speak to them. But I also started saying in this video I wanted to share with you because it's part of what I feel. Again, it's not like I should do, but I almost feel like I should. Guide you through that path and ask, how are you walking such path also? That struggle. And people say the struggle is real. Yeah, well, define struggle. What struggle are you talking about? A lot of people say struggle is literal poverty, or I can't choose what champagne bottle to buy next. So, I think the struggle is real, really just comes from the mental aspect. Psychologically, mentally, how are you? How the fuck are you living that struggle? Because it is real. We do have a demon within us, and we do have an angel. We're both sides. How are you dealing with your demon? Is it in control? Is your angel in control? When do you let your demon take over? Can you let it take over? Can you control it? And this applies to everything. In trading, we can say impatience, impulsivity, emotions, revenge trading, overtrading, greed. These are all the things your demon would do. In relationships, lying, cheating, manipulation, psychologically, financially, physically, hopefully not. So with yourself, it could be bad habits, addiction, alcohol, tobacco, partying, junk food, all the things that are hurting you, that are holding you back from actually being the most powerful spiritual avatar in this version of yourself, in this reality, in this world, system, simulation, whatever this is. And so I finally get to the things I want to write and for you to take notes. And these are the things that I would recommend everyone do, in order to also implement the spiritual and mental aspect into your trading journey and career. Number one is M equals no. What I call the Millionaire Contract. I want you to write down a contract with yourself, and you're going to sign it. I have mine. I wrote mine a while ago. And it's a contract I named I Am a Millionaire. In this contract it says, I will trade the following plan. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern New York, with a 3 to 10% daily goal. If I make 3, I'm satisfied, I'm out. On top of that, brilliant. 3 to 10, because I've made well above 10% in a single day. What happens is your devil starts to take over because it's greedy. He's going to want to make more, and again and again and again. So you want to also protect yourself from yourself and have a reasonable, realistic, humble goal. 3% would be perfect. You don't need anything else. Entry model of V shape. I have to journal every trade and demonstrate I am following my plan and rules. Overtrading is not permitted. Execution time window between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. Eastern. This has a double-edged sword. This is a double-edged sword because sometimes the setup forms minutes before, an hour before, minutes after, or an hour after, even a session before. It's potential you see a perfect V shape, for example. But where I have my conclusion is, where are you on Earth? Are you in Asia? Are you gonna trade New York at fucking 12 in the morning? Midnight or no? So you gotta be rational with this and logical and say, okay, what can I physically actually trade? What are my circumstances? How do my circumstances align? Do I have a job? Do I have free time? Like, what is my optimal time window to trade peacefully and logically healthy? Also, without not sleeping, without waking up too early, without, just how can I actually trade? And around that, you design your plan. Do you want to adapt to mine? go ahead, try it. You would just need to basically do how, more or less everything I do. But, you get the point. So I basically defined the things, the precise things I'm going to do. And then I write the criteria to leave a trade longer than the time window, right? Because here I am trying to, I wrote this a long time ago, but when I thought of this, I was saying, okay, how can I make the plan as precise as possible? And if I were to violate any of the terms of my plan, what would be the criteria to do so? Number one, I must cover at least 3%. If I am winning 3% or more, I must be able to cover that by either placing stop loss over my entry or below it if I'm on the short position, or it's because I closed a winning trade and I covered my risk, and so I'm risk free. Even if I get stopped out, I'm break even. And number two, I must be ahead of my optimal path. The optimal path is based on an Excel sheet that I have that you might know of. It's called Risk Manager Pro, and there I can determine if I am ahead of my objective or not. My objective is a 3% daily goal. If I make more, I am over my objective. If I am well over it, I have more time to be on vacation, or I have more money to risk because I'm over my objective. So those are the number two and only criteria and must variables or factors that must align and be valid. Number one, I have my risk covered, and or my daily goal is already, it doesn't have to be in my pocket. It could just be in floating profit, but I'm already in profit. Number two, I have to be ahead of my goal. I'm not gonna risk unnecessarily and hold a trade and see what happens if I'm behind, right? Main goal is to make $10 million in 1 year. It might be a bit ambitious. I know 1 million, you can do it in less than a year. But because we grow exponentially, bro, you could make a lot of money. Once you reach 100,000, I've traded 100,000, 200,000 accounts. It's stupid the money you can make in a single day. My best single day has been 50,000, and I recently broke it. It was 20,000, and I recently made $50,000. It wasn't my money. It was a client. I just got a cut from it. But it's possible. The amount of money you can make taking the right entry with the right volume, it's insane. It's extraordinary. And you cannot feed your devil. That is extraordinary. I am proud of that. Extremely proud. But at the same time, it's not like I'm not happy. I can't be happy. In the sense that I cannot fall victim to that blindness. Because that is not happiness. $1,000 to 5,000 per day is the eventual optimal goal in what I would define and call as the ideal trader life. A scenario in which you're making between $1,000 and $5,000 in a single day. If you make $1,000 every day, not every single day, but like when you trade, let's define trading day. When you sit down to trade, to look for a trade, if you make $1,000, that's all you need. Seriously, that is all you need. And even less, even if you make 300. There are people on this planet killing themselves for less than that. One. Number two, only making 300 a month or less. Imagine that, making it in minutes. Also, the effort, the time and energy required is easily 1,000 times less than the energy other people and time are investing to get that same amount or less. In other words, let me ask you, what physical force is needed to trade? Only really your fingers. Like you're just moving a mouse and clicking buttons. Because to think and to analyze and to make a decision, what physical effort is that other than just sitting there? So you're not in risk of injury. You don't have to get out of your house. You don't have to waste time getting to work. You don't have to, you see where I'm going? And there you are. You just click the button. You waited 30 minutes, 1 hour, and you made $300, $500. When there are people who spend a month to get those $500. That is seriously something. That is wild, dude. That is seriously fucking wild. That is how enslaved people are, sadly. So we have to be very conscious of that. The minute you make 300, 400, 500, fucking $1,000 in a single trading session, get the fuck off your chair and go live life. What do you want to do? What are you good at? What are your passions? Again, easy to say, fucking hard to do. Of course, because we love what we do, don't we? Or else we wouldn't be here. I love to analyze the charts. I love to draw trend lines and make projections and take a screenshot and then go back and see if I was right and feel proud of it, and then sharing it and helping other people and teaching and doing this. But it could get quite addictive because it's money, it's a drug. You're there, you're like getting high on this, and if you feed your demon, it will control you. You are inviting him or her in. And so balance is needed, and you must accept it. You write your plan, you write your millionaire contract, and you write, I am your superior spiritual being, and I am writing to you from the future. You are a millionaire. Then you write, I am powerful. You are powerful. Follow your plan, and you sign it. And that is your millionaire contract. And you will have it next to you every day. No excuses. Number 2, self-agreement. It sounds the same, but it's not. The first one is a contract you're signing. The second one is an agreement. that you're going to read every day. You sign this contract, you have it next to you. Behind it, you can write your agreement in which you are agreeing with yourself to follow the plan. I follow my plan. I follow my trading plan. I respect my trading plan. I control myself. I control my emotions. I achieve my daily objective and I get off from the charts. I control my risk. I follow my rules. I secure profits. I am the hunter. I follow the trend. I adapt to the market. I accept losses. I follow my trading plan. I control my emotions. I follow my trading plan. I control my emotions. Every single day. Today, empty space. I follow my plan, my trading plan. And I make my daily objective. And you read this every day, and you read it with the dates, with today's date. Today, Monday, Tuesday, whenever, I follow my trading plan and I respect it and I make my daily objective. And on top of that, you manifest your daily goal, your daily objective, the 3%, whatever your money, whatever balance you have, and you see, okay, I have, I don't know, 1,500. All right, what's that? What's 3% of 1,500? Oh, whatever. Okay, that. I make. You could say it, I will. You can say I made in past tense as you have already achieved it, which is, I think, I've done both. People say when you write it as if it already happened, it's like it's a bit, I don't think it makes much of a difference. It's the fact that you're like spelling it, you're manifesting it, you're creating it, you're a magician. You can say I will, or you can say I made. I think saying I will, it's like you're casting this magical spell, and then you say abracadabra, boom, and then you go to work and you do your trading, you make your money, and it's there, written down, manifested. However you feel you want to write it down, just write it down every day. Try it, start. Maybe you don't get it every single day, but just start. And lastly, weekly reflections. Every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, whenever you want, at the end of the week, you reflect on that week's work, emotions, feelings, decisions, whatever. You sit down, you can write it down, you can think about it, you can keep track of it, you can journal it, however you want. Every week, you reflect on what you did right and what you did wrong, what you could have done better, what you're doing good. And you must always finish by acknowledging the good and celebrating the good. And there's a word I'm trying to find. Give me 5 seconds. Appreciate the positive. As small as it is, appreciate the small, steady step, the big jump, the risk that paid off, the control you had and you didn't trade and you avoided a big loss. Anything. Appreciate it. And I guarantee, this I can guarantee, if you follow step by step and you do as I said, you will become more profitable. You may be profitable sometimes you, this will transform you. This will empower you, level you up. Now, if you lose, don't go around saying, "Oh, you told me to do." Man, you will see. You will see how you feel in a month after doing this. If you follow it with discipline and determination, you will make more money. You will be happier. You will be a better version. Period. There's just, of course I wish I could tell you how much money you're gonna make. If there was an answer, I would how about I say you'll make at least $100 a week. But you get my point. 41 minutes. And I think I'm going to finish and stop here this intervention and aspect of our group. I think I can, I hope I will, whatever, make this also in Spanish. There's a few people that speak Spanish. Thankfully, they also can understand to a degree English. But as I get more requests to make things in Spanish, I'll obviously do so. But so far, we are mostly English-speaking lunatics in this community, so it's been fun. I hope you enjoyed and liked this. Take the time to watch it. I don't have anything else to say. Take care. Peace out.